running as a Democratic candidate for the House of Delegates in District 40. I'm running against Tim Hugo, who's been in the office for 10 years. I'm a retired pastor in the United Church of Christ. I've been ordained and have standing for 44 years. I've served 5 congregations in Maryland, Virginia, and New Jersey. And I've always been a community activist. In New Jersey, I was elected to the school board, served for 3 years, president for 1 year. It was a nonpartisan election, but it was a very conflicted school board, so the trade-off, you might say. But I learned to work with administrators and through them with the teachers and support the education program in the school system in Willingboro, New Jersey. Also, while I was there with the church, organized a nonprofit food co-op. Another example in Virginia and Woodstock, where I was for 13 years, organized a Habitat for Humanity chapter where I was president for a time. So I've been involved in the community in many ways and been in Center for 17 years, where I started Wellspring United Church of Christ with the help of many other good people. And while we were there, I've been involved in the community more and more in politics, helping with different campaigns, and decided last year that this would be a good year to run for House of Delegates. I mentioned the experience in the church because as I talk to people at the doors, I realize, if I hadn't before, how much my experience of working with congregations spills over into the kind of work I anticipate in the House of Delegates. I worked to build consensus when we would have to make decisions, coming to meetings with different points of view. Sometimes the decisions may seem a little silly, sometimes very important. We spent money from time to time, actually. So we had to come to a consensus, or else we'd have a divided congregation. And that kind of value of building consensus, to me, means a lot. A house divided against itself can't stand. I think Abraham quoted the Bible saying that, Abraham Lincoln. But that experience, that means a lot to me as I work with others in the community and as I anticipate in the House of Delegates. A few years ago, our church, my wife Alice, who's here taking pictures, thank you Alice, and other good people in the community, other churches and foundations, got together over a period of time of meetings and actually organized a labor resource center, a free, non-tax money put into it, a free operation to get workers off the street where they could be hired fairly and paid fairly with no record of wage theft over the 2 years of operation. Again, no tax money was paid. It was a local problem with a local solution. And it's an example of how we can work together as volunteers, as people of good hearts and good intentions. And I'd like to carry that experience with me wherever I am and as a delegate, not just in Richmond, but in the community where I have a chance to reach out to people and work together to solve problems. I look for where the needs are and glad to be a part of and collaborate with others to solve problems in our community. Transportation is, as we've all said, I think is one of the most important issues, and I'm glad to see and I really support the bipartisan funding bill, which was, to me, an example of an actual compromise. We've had too few experiences of good compromises like that, where not everybody got everything they wanted. Some people maybe didn't like parts of it, but we all came away with something for our community, for Northern Virginia. And I look forward to being a part of helping to spend that money wisely and carefully. And not just for putting asphalt on roads, that's one way sometimes it's carefully done, but also looking at the whole picture, the whole matrix of transportation needs in our region. We need to be sure that we're supporting public transportation as much as possible. Some areas of my district have no access to public transportation. You have to have a car or a horse cart or something. And there's no roads, some roads have no way you can ride a bike on them safely. So I'm interested in looking at the whole picture of transportation. Thank you. The schools are important to me. My wife is a retired public school teacher. I have 3 grandkids here in Centerville in public school, 2 at Westfield and 1 at London Town Elementary School. And so education is important. I think we need to make sure we're not creating unfunded mandates from the state to our school system, which increases class size and limits the teachers you can have. We need to do more to make testing appropriate for the students so that we know what they need to learn, and also allow and support problem solving and creative thinking, as well as supporting art, music, and phys ed, which are important to our whole education of the whole person. So thank you all very much for being here and a chance to share with you, and I'm glad to receive any questions you might have. It's folksfordelegate.com is the website, and look forward to your support. Thank you.